back to the Pat McAfee Show here on Feel Good Friday, November 12th, 2021. A lot of news being reported around the NFL right now that Mark Murphy is the reason why OBJ didn't go to the Packers. The Schultz report, who we don't believe has been right about anything thus far, but always seems to be in touch with things that could potentially be happening in leading the storyline to how we got where. Jordan Schultz is reporting this just in. Packers front office is the main reason why they failed to land Odell Beckham Jr. per sources. I'm told head coach Matt LaFleur wanted OBJ, believing his acquisition would be both seamless positive for the Green Bay offense, which is what we kind of said. Front office lowballed Beckham while the Rams believed in him. Sean McVay on the phone, Jalen Ramsey on the phone. Now it's being reported by the Schultz report, which we're not 100% sure which reports we can read as actual reports from the Schultz report, is saying front office obviously didn't get this job done. What are your thoughts on that, AJ? Is Aaron going to be fucking pissed?
I don't know if he'll be pissed. I mean, it would have been a nice addition for sure, but can you say, Mark, I'm not trying to stand up for Mark Murphy here, but you had Trags come on and say that McVay personally called Odell, and that's what sealed the deal. Did LaFleur try to make a call to Odell or not?
Well, and also, though, McVay is the one that's making all the decisions, basically, because remember whenever I said the Von Miller and the Matthew Stafford, I said, is that the owner, Stan Kroenke, wanting to win a Super Bowl in L.A. to have the fans forever? Is that Les Snead?
Yep.
The GM? And he said, no, that's all McVay wanting to get this done. So maybe McVay is also the one who could say, we'll be able to make it, we'll pay you more than what they're paying. We'll put a bonus on the back end. Is that what McVay's doing? Is McVay calling all the shots front office-wise too, and Les Snead's there to make it happen? And Tony contracts just kind of deals with it on the other end?
I would guess that McVay called him up, and McVay being such a football guy, I bet he sat there and he was so juiced and he had so much passion describing to Odell how he was going to use him, what he was going to do, and the route combinations. This is how we're going to work you with everybody else. And I'm sure Odell probably got there. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go live in L.A. and do this and catch a bunch of balls and hopefully win a Super Bowl.
Odell Beckham Jr. walked off of Kroenke's plane in L.A. this morning, cut a selfie promo for the Rams social media, and he said it felt great to be back home. He was just in New Orleans, I think, which is where he was born and raised. But I think that is what he literally considers his home, because in the offseason, all he does is go to L.A. Remember, we've seen him, and Connor brought this point up earlier, we've seen him throw a football 200 yards at the UCLA campus during his offseason workouts over there. He's got a house. He's got a team ready to go. They got an owner that's spending all the money and a head coach that is like, get in here. I guess it makes a lot of sense, even though the Schultz report and others never reported that the Rams would be reportedly in the conversation.
And Jeremy Fowler of ESPN is reporting that GM Les Snead and contract guy, the big sleazy Tony Gufano, does want to extend them next season.
So Tony contract says we can make this work. Les Snead says, McVay, you want to make this work? Yeah, and they do it. They got to win. Maybe they do.
Yeah,
maybe they do.
Never.
Is it a failure if they don't win this year?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
So, I mean, you can do whatever. You got to have a lot of luck. You got to have health, everything. But I agree. Like, hey, why not go for it? I'd rather be cheering for a team that's going to go for it and say, hey, this. You can't claim that we don't care and that we're not trying. We're doing whatever we possibly can.
What do you say? You'd rather cheer for that team than a team that like doesn't have an indoor facility?
I can still cheer for the Bengals, you know.
Whoa.
Pick one.
Well, I didn't say that. I was just talking about just
in general,
the different levels of a team trying to win versus, hey, trying to make money and field a team. You know, there's two different ways there, I think, to look at the whole franchise.
Yeah, it is. I would hope if I was an NFL owner, I had so much money that it was just like play money to me. My NFL team was just like, hey, it doesn't matter what we spend. It's a write-off. Hey, let's just go try to win Super Bowl.
Well, I think that's what Kroenke is doing. I mean, that was supposed to be a $2 billion stadium.
Tries that too. It's not a guarantee. That's the hard thing.
But they know they have to win the Super Bowl in L.A. If an L.A. team wins the Super Bowl in L.A., you have all the fans forever. And I'm not saying that the Chargers aren't trying to win a Super Bowl every year, but I think Kroenke sees the bigger picture as like, this is a battle for LA right now. We have all the superstars.
Lakers Clippers, right? Isn't this Lakers Clippers right now?
Yeah, we have all the superstars. Even LeBron seems to be a Rams guy out here. We have all the superstar names. We have all of the branding. We have the nicest stadium in the NFL. We're going to have the Super Bowl. If our team wins the Super Bowl in the nicest stadium in the NFL, in our city in which we're new to, it's only going to continue to grow forever and blossom into a massive business success. I think it's probably how Kroenke's looking at it.
And imagine Kroenke's probably sitting there. He's like, all right, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but Odell comes in. We have Von Miller. If we go on a run here the second half of the season, imagine the momentum they're building. Every home game, there's more and more stars showing up, and then you can have a playoff game at home, maybe things like that. He has to be thinking about, man, this should be good. Fingers crossed, everybody stays healthy.
Yeah, the spotlight's definitely on the Rams now.
Yeah,
More so than ever. They're here fucking dialed in on it.
Can you Holly on that thing?
Yeah, I can bunny hop, dude. Fucking respect the sport. AJ, this Schultz report that we said we have no idea if anything this guy says is accurate about the front office not getting involved for the Green Bay Packers is notable of a conversation because the Packers were allegedly, by all reports that were potentially wrong, not just Schultz report, we're talking about everybody, the Packers were a desired destination. Why couldn't they get a deal done, you think, for OBJ over there, AJ? Do you think it is because Sean McVay went full recruit and the Packers said, we got a game to prepare for? Okay, we're not college coaches. We're not going to do this entire thing. We want you here. Do you want to come or do you not? Do you think that's how it all went down? And should this be anything we even think about with Aaron thinking about future?
I don't know if it's like a giant deal, but yeah, I mean, could the Packers, I'm sure they could have figured out under the cap, paid him what the Rams are paying Odell, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Because the Rams, some teams seem to have no salary cap.
Yeah.
Like some teams just don't.
I mean, maybe the Packers. Do you think the Packers reached out to? They said, "All right, yeah, we'd love to have you. But because you're getting paid from Cleveland, it's league minimum. But that's not how we feel about you. But that's all we can offer you, and we're not negotiating."
Yeah, probably.
Is that possible?
And then Odell came back and said, "Their potential $4.5 million over here in a warm weather climate where all the stars are in Los Angeles."
And the coach, they called me and told me how I'm going to be worked into the game plan and everything I'm going to be doing, and they seem very excited about me coming. Oh, and I get to be in LA and say I'm home now.
And Goot and LaFleur and maybe Mark Murphy, everybody's like, I mean, we got no fucking chance. We're not going to pay him that much. Let's get the hell out of here. I assume that was potentially what it was. But the report that is potential, he feels disrespected is, that goes into a much larger conversation about how everything kind of took place.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it really is like once we found out yesterday that he was going, like none of this stuff would have really mattered because I think like Rodgers even, like he enjoys playing with the guys he has. He trusts those guys. Like, yeah, it would have been nice to have Odell, but
we're not begging.
No,
I think
exactly. They're good. I mean, so who cares?
But we'll see how it works out for the Rams. I'm expecting that it's going to go well.